I'm here today with Isidro Laso. Isidro is European Commission, European Innovation Council now. For your prior experience was in the cabinet of Maria Gabriel, the former European Innovation Commissioner for Innovation, among all the other things. So Isidro, I think, first of all, we have a new college. And we have a new college where it looks like that startup innovation are at the forefront. Can you give us a bit more context about that? Also because, again, you have been driving from inside this evolution inside the European Commission towards startups since probably the past 10, 15 years. So probably you're the best person in Europe to explain how is important the time now for Europe.
Yeah, thank you, Alberto. Indeed, it's a wonderful moment for the startups in Europe because of the leadership that the President von der Leyen is showing in this domain. As you correctly said, Alberto, we started working together around 2010, 2011, and at that moment, no one in the Commission was talking about the startups, but now it's mainstream, and it's not only mainstream. Competitiveness through innovation is the new mantra in the Commission. It's the same way that the climate change was in the previous college. This time is about competitiveness, and as Professor Draghi mentioned in his report, competitiveness through innovation. He said first and most importantly, innovation. This is the key. And within innovation, we all know that innovation is done nowadays by startups. So the President von der Leyen is talking constantly about the startups, about the importance of startups, about the 20th regime, about the funding programs that we have for the startups. Some of the programs are quite nitty-gritty, and she knows all of them. So she's showing this leadership, and it's not only showing this leadership to the other leaders in Europe and worldwide, but also in the administration. The new college will have a new commissioner for the first time ever on startups, research and innovation, and on startups first. We have also a first time ever executive vice president on tech sovereignty. So imagine an EVP on tech. We have also the 20-year regime that you know very well is the dream of the startups for the last 15 years. Now in the mission letter of the Commissioner McGrath. So we will have a new task force on startups and scale up. The details are not yet known, but this will encompass the whole Commission. So if we are lucky and we do the things well, if we implement the vision of the President von der Leyen correctly, we could transform the whole Commission public administration as we see now. And I hope this will permeate also to the 27 member states.
So that is the new, let's say, wave, let's call it the new startup wave for Europe and for the European Commission. You are now at European Innovation Council. European Innovation Council was launched a few years ago. There's been some evolution. What is the European Innovation Council today? What is the mission, the ambition for the next years, and why it's important?
So the European Innovation Council was launched a few years ago. Carlos Moedas, Maria Gabriel, Macron was all of them very instrumental in making it happen. Was the first time the Commission or public administration in Europe was taking equity of startups. So we were investing directly on startups. It was a big change also, you can imagine, for the legal people in the Commission to make it, to understand that to them. And we were mainly focused on making connections and attracting VC funds to co-invest with us. The EIC is never the lead investor because we don't want to fix the price. We always co-invest with private investors. If the startup that comes to us doesn't have these private investors already, we find those private investors today. Until now, the average is that for every euro that we invest, we manage to attract 4.5 euros from private investors, and that's the beauty of the EAC. The second beauty is that the label of the EAC has so much power nowadays that the startups who invest with us, and this is a report from Joel Capital here from Paris, the EAC startups, they get in the next follow-on round of investment 5 times 5 the size of the initial round. Similar startups, according to this study, get only 2.2 more. So that means having the label of the EAC multiplied by 2.3 times the size of the next follow-on investment. So that means that these startups are able to grow faster. That's also one of the ideas. We want to have these unicorns, these tech champions in Europe. For the future, we want to expand it, not only go deeper on what we already do with more money, that's fine, but we want to do more things. We want to position the European Innovation Council as the thought leader for innovation in Europe and outside. When someone in Japan, in the US is thinking on innovation in Europe, they should immediately think, they should have the reflect of thinking on the European Innovation Council. When the member states are thinking on doing things on startups and innovation, they should immediately be thinking on working with us. We need to scale up also initiatives like the one of Professor Tibi in France, also the WIN initiative in Germany at EU level. Maybe not necessarily to do the same thing at EU level, but only the peer learning between the 27 member states, because as Professor Tibi said, every member state has peculiarities. Some countries, the money is in the hands of the pension funds, the insurance companies, in others in another. So we need to do this, and I hope the European Innovation Council will be able, this is our thinking, to become the thought leader, and as thought leader we'll be able to convey all these member states to work together and to learn from one another for the benefit of the startups, the competitiveness and the substance of Europe. As Professor Draghi said, we have an existential challenge related to the competitiveness and innovation in Europe.
Always important, open innovation, startup collaboration. This is a topic that's pretty close to our heart, but I think it's a pivotal part of all of this. How do you see that?
The money in Europe, the private money, is in charge of pension funds, insurance companies, big, large corporations. These large corporations, they have been working in the last 10 years, they have been playing small accelerators, small CVCs. Now it has seen today a change. I have seen that most of them are using the venture client model. You remember 4 or 5 years ago, we started to talk about that with the Daimler Chrysler were the first ones doing it. And now I saw that everybody's doing that. So it's not investing, is not acquiring startups, it's working with them, making the startups as your customer. And maybe thinking the reality, face reality. Innovation is not done any longer in the research departments of the companies. It's done by working together with the startups to solve the problem of the corporates. It's a win-win situation for the startups and for the corporate. We have a lot of corporate. We want that they continue if they are good enough, and we want also to have emergence of new tech champions. That most of them working with the startups, they may have the financial capability and the customer base to be able to become tech champions.
Yes, because we need to have a new industry structure again. The data that also Draghi reported is that among the 10 largest American companies, 7 of them has been founded in the last 50 years. If you look at the same in Europe, none of them. And so there should be a difference, and probably the difference is called venture capital. So the ability of destroy an industry to build another one, rather than try to continue to patch what we already have. Final word, because I think just you can explain to people that don't have a clear understanding how complicated is the common European building. Again, you say, for the first time in September, the President of the European Commission mentioned the word startup. When you launch EIC, it's been the first time ever that at the European Commission level, we are investing into equity of startups. It looks something obvious from the outside, but if you know the complexity of the construction, the common construction of your building, it's so complicated. So can you just, in a word, explain how long it takes to get there and how fast we can go when you get there?
So I think that the time is always relative and depends on the political leadership. We have now the political leadership of the President von der Leyen, similar to the President Macron some years ago when they started all these things in the startup. If we manage to keep this political leadership from Ursula von der Leyen on the startups, the things can be done and can be done very, very quickly.
Okay, this is
what I can confirm you. Commission is a very hierarchical organization. If the boss, that is the president, has decided that this is the medicine for Europe's competitiveness, I can assure you things will move very quickly in the Commission for the benefit of the citizens in Europe.
This is good to hear. Thank you, Isidro.
Thank you, Albert.